I will be the last to leave. I won't say a word, just let you breathe. I won't make a sound. I won't slow you down. I knew we were on borrowed time.
One session and just
Nothing you will keep. I fell into you. And as far as at least how I remember, we were leaving in September. Didn't go and paint the sky. And as far as though maybe I pretended, oh, I wish it never ended. I held on with all my might, still waiting on that last goodbye. See you standing by the door, watching the leaves as they fall once more. In the silence we made, I couldn't find the words to say. They linger in my mind. Oh, I wished you'd stay. The sky. And as far as thought maybe I pretended, oh, I wish it never ended. I held on with all my might, still waiting on the last goodbye. Last goodbye. Last goodbye. Last goodbye. At least how I remember, we were leaving in September, when red and gold paint the sky. And for a time, though maybe I pretended, oh, I wish it never ended. I held on with all my might, still waiting on my last goodbye.
Yes.
해야 돼. I'd say like because of the roasted rice, it's a bit like warmer, a bit. Okay. Victoria Station.
Alright, so sorry that my ears were
This way, please. 3, 2, 1, stop.
Travel on Wednesday the 24th and Thursday the 25th.
ラビットのシルエット
に似てるのではなくて、
本当にピーターラビット
本
です。
当に。
ショップに行くまでの左手側に。
Us around. But it'd be nice to get it on the same page. Was it today you went? If I do that in very delicate.
Lately, my monkey mind is turning over. All the times that knock me off my swing, the break in the chain link. Lately, I'm trying to find some kind of closure. Spinning circles at the roller rink. I could walk or skate around, but I'm back where I came from.
When you approach us a couple of years ago, it says California by Strong in a chocolate
what is real that I am following. I have to question everything lately. On the trail to understanding, I return to the beginning. I could walk or skate or run, but I am back where I came from. And now it happens all the time. I'm back at the starting line. Yeah, the years of my life. I'm back at the starting line. Now it happens all the time. I'm back at the starting line. Yeah, the years of my I'm back at the starting line. I'm back at the starting line. I'm back at the starting line. I'm back at the starting line.
お皿もあったかいわよ。美味しそう。素敵。ド迫力。
お母さんたちがこちらの地方ご出身の方。隠れてる感じ。
ただきます。
ありがとうございます。
Color in the arc of a wave, dripping off words that you say when the boat slows down. There's a break. Color in the turn of a phrase.
These are situated in vessels and possessing location as seated.
Color has a rule to be loved, punching like stars from the mouth. Shade likes to carry sound. Color so cool in the face, watching the moon to its place where they turn back around, where they turn back around.
Actually, do you know what? Go on, put your hand in, see what happens.
In the Stina, yeah.
我刚刚那个是，那两个都是。
Your hand That's what my heart says. I wanna be with you always. You are my world in every place. It's the things that you do, and it's the smile on your face. And as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place. Without your love, I am out of place. And without you, I am just a trace. I love you with all of my heart. Together forever, never to part. I wanna be with you always. 'Cause that is what my heart says. 'Cause you're my heart says. I wanna be with you always. Always, yeah. You are my world in every day. Oh, oh, oh. It's the things that you do, things you do, baby. It's the smile on your face, on your face. And as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place. It's the things that you do, things that you do. And it's the smile on your face, and as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place.
What is that? So Nick.
selection of the sandwiches, pastries, regular selection. Egg mayonnaise on brioche roll, cucumber with cream cheese, chicken and tarragon mayonnaise, ham with mustard mayonnaise, smoked salmon with lemon butter, cheddar cheese with apple chutney, dark chocolate chouban, garrigue strawberry and ginger, orange marmalade and almond tartlet.